broad explanation of addiction. And then we have traumatic yoga for traumatic brain injury. And that class specifically is dedicated to those that have been affected by a traumatic brain injury or a concussion. So we help those individuals that have had seizures, for example, and were trained to facilitate the healing benefits of meditation and community with those individuals. And finally, we have a veterans program. Again, it's a trauma-sensitive program for veterans that are recovering from PTSD. Yes. And all of our programs include family members and care partners, because we know that these issues are cross-generational. And we also collaborate with multiple nonprofits in our community. So if there are communities that do not have a health and wellness ability to facilitate for their constituents, we extend a hand and we help them and we collaborate with them.
Gosh, you do so much. That's absolutely amazing. All out of the Dharma Footprint Project, right? What is your vision for the future of the project?
Well, we are hoping that in the next 3 to 5 years that our program continues to expand, that I continue to train people in my yoga studio so that they can see yoga with a broader lens. Our yoga in the West is defined by athletic yoga and by vinyasa yoga, and this is not really what the vast majority of our population needs. We need a restorative approach to bring change to those people that are affected by the effects of trauma, anxiety, and other ailments. So it's, not with tarnishing the vinyasa, but really and honestly, more yoga studios and yoga instructors need to be trained with a larger and broader, more therapeutic lens to their yoga profession. And that's what I specialize in.
Yeah. And that is and I absolutely agree with you on that, because there are, most people aren't, they just don't, know how to vinyasa, but they just want to have that very sort of beginning hatha relaxation restorative therapy that brings that sort of very calming and focus on the energy of your body. And they can begin to really feel their body and begin to sit with it for a while, right?
Absolutely. We want to allow and really enhance one's embodied life. So you feel like you're a full body, a whole body, and not these parts that are separated.
Yeah. I mean, now, if somebody wanted to or wished to become a supporter of the Dharma Footprint Project, what could they do?
There's so many ways to get involved. So ours is our program is a grassroots program. They can go to the dharmafootprint.org, and Dharma is spelled DHARMA, footprint. They can donate if they see that our vision is one that they support and they want to see grow. They can train with us to become yoga instructors that are inclined with our vision, that want to see yoga used in this way. They can train at our studio. They can volunteer at our studio and become parts of any of our programs, which are in the process of expanding. So there are multiple ways in which we can facilitate our support and our continued involvement.
And there is no age limit, is there, for participants? Is there?
There isn't. No, there is not. In terms of the training, though, if it's under 18, we do need a parent's waiver form to affirm that a youngster can participate. But other than that, there's no age limit. And my oldest client is in the 90s. My youngest client is in the teens. So it's a full range. Yeah.
And what about going into the schools? Are you doing any of that?
I am. I'm actually donating my time at the Sarasota Military Academy. I'm
Ah,
very, very honored to be teaching these future leaders in our military. I'm specifically teaching them meditation, mindfulness on the field in their lacrosse training this season, and I'm very, very grateful to be with them and to teach them some of these tools that they can take with them on and off the mat, as well as the police department and police cadets. So I'm in a lot of places here in Sarasota.
yeah, that's great, Claudia. I'm just thinking that, you have these people in these very I mean, the underserved community, of course, needs the yoga. But you have these people who are in the very high stress jobs or going into high stress jobs or dealing with high stress
Hmm.
situations. And so you going in there to give them the tools and to show them how they can center themselves. Um,
Hmm.
I could you talk a little bit more about that because that's a really fascinating area.
Yes, it is. And it's one of the places that yoga needs to make an impact. Our first responders and emergency personnel and our police departments, they are on the front lines. They're
Mm,
the ones that suffer from the highest rates of not only suicide, as we have seen with the New York Police Department
right.
recently, but also they're at the very, very high risk of alcoholism and also anxiety and depression and relating to PTSD. They see and hear and witness things that are highly traumatic as part of their daily job description.
Yeah.
So these men and women need to have this as part of their daily routine in order to bring the stress hormones under control. Because as you know, when our adrenal system is tapped to the top and we're operating with adrenal fatigue, we're going to be using a lot more cortisol in our system and a lot more adrenaline, which produces toxicity in the body, and it overall long term it will lead to heart disease and heart attacks and other just horrible health issues. So and within 5 years these things come up for these responders, including our veterans. And so any of these people, EMTs, emergency medical personnel and services, police departments, um, the
Mm,
hospitals right now who are dealing
yeah.
with the coronavirus,
Right.
all of these people are at a heightened risk of having their own mental health challenges because of their daily job descriptions. And that's just unacceptable. Yoga
Yeah.
has a place to help with these communities that are really, they have our backs. They have the community's back. They show up before anybody else shows up to clean up the mess and to
Yeah.
help us stay healthy. So I feel like we have a responsibility to bring yoga to them.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yes, and I totally agree with you. Um, my question is about you. What is your
Hmm.
favorite yoga posture and why?
Oh, this is going to seem so underwhelming, but I'll tell you my favorite yoga pose is Tadasana, which means standing
Ah,
mountain pose.
fantastic pose.
And I will tell you that I was taught mountain pose a long time ago at the Baron Baptiste studio, which, by the way, is a vinyasa studio.
Yeah.
And Rolf Gates was my teacher, and he
Mhm.
has become another community leader around the country. And he really, really affected my approach to yoga. And I heard him say in a yoga class, the way you stand in Tadasana is the way you show up for life. And all of a sudden,
Ah,
I wanted to stand up straighter and I wanted to feel more rooted and I wanted to lift my chest a little higher. So I show up as my best self, full of optimism, full of hope, and ready to enhance my life and enhance the lives of others. So
oh,
Tadasana, as simple and boring as it is, really, really, I start with Tadasana and I always remind people that this is so much more than a standing pose. It's really how you walk into your life off the mat.
yeah. Oh, that actually is beautiful. And I have to tell you, I agree with you so much. because I start my classes with Tadasana as well, and
Mhm.
it's an amazing posture that makes you that sort of centers your life force and makes you feel strong and makes you feel grounded. And I
Yes,
love that. I just love it. Um,
yes.
that's
Mhm.
all we have time for today, Claudia. I'm so sorry.
Uh, oh,
We
I am so grateful. I am very grateful, Colette. This has been such a wonderful conversation.
Oh, I'm very honored that you came on, and perhaps later we can catch up with you and find out how the Dharma Footprint Project is going later on,
Uh,
and that would be wonderful.
Thank you so much, Colette. I
Thank
look
you.
forward to that.
Yeah, and
You too.
if you would like more information about Claudia um, and her studio, you can visit www dot pineappleyogastudio.net. But I think there's also you can go to uh, P, I think is it PYS, Claudia? I think that's it.
Yes,
Yeah.
but I think another website is the Dharma Footprint for the
Yes.
community yoga.
Yes.
And the Dharma is spelled a little differently. It has an H.
Yes, Dharma, Dharma, footprint.org, right?
Correct.
And
Yes.
yeah, and or you can visit Facebook at Pineapple Yoga Studio, on Instagram at the Dharma Footprint Project. Just go to the website. You can get all the information from either of those websites. And again, many thanks, Claudia, for being with us today on Yin Yoga Lifestyle.
Likewise, Colette. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And please don't forget to check us out at yinyogalifestyle.com, adding enlightenment, calm, balance, and creativity to your everyday life. Thank you for joining Yin Yoga Lifestyle. I am your host, Colette Darville. Join us next time to continue our journey of balancing into a state of perfect harmony. Until then, this is Colette Darville, reminding you to inhale, sow, and exhale, hum.